Nathan, Nathan, NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close this year, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? Hey, yo, John be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Come on in. TGIF. It's almost like we never left. Good morning to you. This show is day to day, 24 hours between 24 hours. Remember that television show, the 24 hours? I never got into it. Was it Jack Bauer or something like that? Keith or Sutherland, remember that? People love that show. That show was 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. A very unique concept. This show is made for the age that we live in. We talk about people, politics, and pleasure. But at its core, this show is about people. That's what we talk about. Good morning to you. My name is Nathan Ivey. I flow, therefore I am. Welcome back to the Nathan Ivey Show. Yeah, I'm that guy. Often imitated, but rarely duplicated. Good morning to you. Yeah, I'm that guy. Good morning. On today's show, we must discuss numerous things. The PG Sittenfeld files. You can hear and watch the FBI recordings. Some of that has been released to the public. A couple of local publications, that's Cincinnati.com along with WCPO.com. They got a hold of this and they've like put it out there. So I spent some time over the last 24 hours watching them, and they're quite interesting. Like, you've been following this case, I think you'll find it interesting as well. Plus, Jeff Pastor, who the FBI has charged him with bribery, corruption, along with some other charges. His trial is scheduled for later this year. He's finally broken his silence. I'll tell you what was said. Good morning to you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Back and hopefully better than ever. Hope you're doing well. Hope your family's doing well. Is that right? Yes, no. Hopefully well. Hopefully good. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Come on in, everybody. Please share the show. It means everything. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Man, this world is nuts. And we're just trying to figure it all out. This world is completely nuts. Completely crazy. This ain't your grandfather's America. This ain't your grandmama's America. And there's more information from the twerking black politician, the twerking state senator from Rhode Island. Yeah, she has some issues with TikTok, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, social media platform going right now. I saw a picture with this young sister. Her name is Tierra Mack, and she's holding a bag that reads "Stand with Black Women." I like that. I'll stand with that. I'll take a stand with that stance rather than you taking a handstand, a headstand, maybe not a handstand, but a headstand. I stopped doing headstands a long time ago. I don't do that no more. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come in. Shut the door behind you. This ain't for everybody. This is an acquired taste. This ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't going to appreciate what's about to happen. Many of you have been rocking with me for a while, and we're just getting started. We are just getting started, my friends. I've gotten confirmation that, you know, what we're doing is exactly what we need to be doing. We will not stop. Plus, I've just seen some really good examples, man, of people just, you know, creating things that could possibly impact the entire globe, and I'm inspired. I'm inspired, y'all. Ain't nothing more dangerous than a man with a plan who is inspired. I've been inspired. We all need inspiration. Good morning to you. What up, Joy Joy? What up, Charlie Winburn's in the house? What up, Tony? What up, Roots? Roots Tafari. Love that name, man. Roots Tafari. Now, I've heard of Roots Minerva. That's my guy right there. I can't recite any names of his tracks, but he got a couple tracks, maybe more than that is just super fire. Everybody hit the Roots to Maneuver. Super dope. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Again, people, politics, and pleasure. That's my wheelhouse. That's what we will discuss this morning. Get ready for it. Please share. Have you shared today's show? You have not shared today's show. Why not? Tell me why. I don't have no place to share it to, Nate. Share it to your own damn page. Don't give me that. I want it all. I want it all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in, come on in. Lots to discuss, man. Lots to discuss as we get ready for the weekend. Anybody got big plans for the weekend? TGIF. And of course, next weekend is going to be the Black Taste. I haven't been down. Listen, I've got nothing against the taste of Cincinnati, but I like the Black Taste better. I'm going to go down there and spend my money, even if it's something I don't eat. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. We here? We here? So before we go any deeper in the show, of course, I need to remind you that today's show is brought to you in part by our friends over at Renew Community Church. Why are there so many angry, mean, and irritable people? That's a really good question. There's a lot of angry, mean, and irritable people in the world. I'm not one of them. I'm not irritable. I can lose patience. I'm not mean. If I don't F with you, I don't F with you. And I'm certainly not angry. I get up every day with a smile on my face. I woke up this morning with a smile on my face. I was smiling in my dreams. I had dope dreams this morning, smiling. I woke up, jumped out of bed, ready to engage the world. Now I'm with you. And if you want to feel that way, then tap in this Sunday to the Sunday morning masterclass at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just ran a test with Edna Howe Parrish. You cannot hate Edna Howe Parrish. If you hate on Edna Howe Parrish, there's something wrong with your ass. What is wrong with you? Hating on that woman. Anyway, I did a test with her just yesterday, and I think we figured out what the issues are. So she's planning to be back in better than ever this Sunday. So, if you wake up on a Sunday and maybe you're just around the house and maybe you're doing some whatever, you're getting the exercise in on a Sunday, kick on Edna. She always got a spoonful of wisdom for your soul. She always has a spoon. I like that, actually. I might have to run that tag past her. A spoonful of wisdom for your soul with Straight Talk Live. Her show is different than mine. I am a fire-breathing dragon. I don't care. I burn people. I knock down buildings. I'm like that. I don't care. I burn bridges. I don't care anymore. Edna is Edna. She got a whole different vibe. Much different than mine. You might get into it. I can be a little bit too much. I already know. And guess what? I ain't stopping. That's my Joker laugh. I ain't stopping. So what? Like it or don't, it is what it is. We are where we are, my friends. Let's get that disclaimer rolling. Good morning. That's right. 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 So why are there so many angry, mean, and irritable people? I could give you some speculations, but I'm not. I'm going to save it for you for this Sunday at 11:45 a.m. Check out Charlie Winburn and the Masterclass. They stream live on Facebook, facebook.com/CINCI, as in Cincy, Renew, as in Renew Community Church. and on YouTube at Renew Community Church live stream. Go ahead and put that in your calendar, man. Everybody got a smartphone. Well, make it do smart things. What's the use of having a smartphone if you don't set it up to do smart things? You know what I'm saying? Just telling time. That ain't enough. That is not enough. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, as we speak, Virginia cops are under fire after pointing guns at a teenager who was using his phone to record their police stop. You heard about this? Fairfax County police officials have launched an investigation. I love it when the police do some and then they get to investigate themselves. What a novel idea. I love that idea. I love that idea.
I didn't understand that.
Huh? That's my smartphone trying to be too smart. Talking about you didn't understand that. I wasn't talking to you. Fairfax County police officials have launched an investigation after a video showing officers pulling firearms on a minor recording an arrest went viral. The video was uploaded to Reddit and Twitter. It shows two officers pointing guns at someone holding a cell phone camera and ordering him to get on the ground. This happened back on July 9th. Huh? All because he was recording you? What in the hell? Now, you don't want to be up in their face, really close to them when they're trying to, bring a suspect in or deal with official police business. But you have every right from a fair distance to videotape what these officers are doing. Get down on the ground, get down on the ground. There's a female officer involved. In the video, the teenager asks, "Why are you pulling a gun on me?" The female officer says, "Because you have a weapon." He responds, "What weapon? What weapon, huh? You look dumb, bro. Get on your knees." A male officer then approaches the boy with his gun drawn. The world we live in. The intimidation tactics have to end. Over a cell phone. And I'm going to tell you what happens, and I can't speak to this, but what I feel happens in some of these cases, my friends, is that you get these officers that get in their feelings. They get embarrassed. They got ego issues. They got rage issues. They were bullied in school. And now everyone's going to do what I say. I am the law. This Judge Dredd mentality. I do what I say as soon as I say doing it, or else it's obstruction of justice. And so, nobody likes somebody to have a camera in their face. You ever have somebody come to your job and put a camera in your face? I would imagine it is super unnerving. I don't want that. But I'm not a member of law enforcement. It comes with the territory. It is what it is. When you put that badge on and you decide you want to go out here in them streets, and some of these officers getting paid swell. They getting paid swell. With overtime and benefits, man, they live in retirement benefits. Listen, they getting paid swell. But nobody wants a camera in their face. Now, where do you work at? You don't have to tell me, but could you imagine somebody just shows up with a camera talking ish, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna record all of this and put it on Twitter." Why you do that? Why you do that? Like, everything you do, that would be so irritating. I understand why the officers get irritated. I would lose patience. Gosh darn it. Trying to do my job. But that's why I'm not police. Because I already know I wouldn't be good at it. I would not be good at it. Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Going to my friends on Spreaker. What up, Ray? What up, everybody? Good morning to you. To my people on TuneIn. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well this morning. I don't know what I'm doing with my voice. Let's talk about the PG Sittenfeld tapes, the surveillance tapes, the clips of them, not the full entirety of it, have been put on some of these websites here locally. You can find it on Cincinnati.com, WCPO. You can check it out for yourself. And you get the insight into, you get a chance to see and hear what the jury saw and heard. You get a chance to see and hear what the jury saw and heard. And I watched most of what was put out there within the last 24 hours. And, I can see it. I understand. I understand. I can understand how it further incriminates Mr. Sittenfeld. I get it 100%. I do. I get it. And there's one video where PG is saying something like, "Yeah, I can deliver the votes," and I'm thinking to myself, "Negro, you can't deliver no damn votes." That is such a really interesting thing. It really is, because as I watched the videos and just having a basic understanding of how things work and what was going on here, it seemed to me as if Mr. Sittenfeld was coming across like he could deliver more than he really could, because I think he had a sense that there was a lot of support for that deal. That the deal was going to go through no matter what. He was going to support the deal no matter what. The deal was going to go through no matter what. It passed unanimously. Unanimously. Democrats and Republicans, everybody voted for this deal. And I think he had a sense that there was a lot of momentum behind it. And when this opportunity presented himself, he thought there was a way to make some money off of it for his PAC. That's what I think. As I listened to the audio tapes, and you can hear this dude, Vinny, who was really an FBI agent. I mean, he sounded too good to be true. He just sounded too good to be true. Like the whole Vinny East Coast mob tie. Like he sounded like he was straight out of a gangster film, with the accent and telling the jokes, and I'm on my yacht. I'm like, see, I've been around something that's too good to be true. It usually is. It usually is. And as I said, my friends, I mean, will this have an impact on local politicians? Or you bet they will in a short time. Absolutely, they all gonna be watching. Everybody on city council is gonna watch who they meet, and when they meet people, what they say. Everybody. If anybody's on city council not making those kind of moves, they are dumb, 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 dumb. And I don't believe anybody on city council is dumb. None of those men and women are dumb. They're very highly intelligent, highly motivated individuals. That's how they put themselves in the position to be elected officials. So you better believe they're watching every moment of this. And I'll say it again. Chindu Ndukwe, ain't nobody going to want to have no meetings with him. And if they do, they're going to be really guarded. Really guarded. Was it Jared Cameras? Ain't nobody trying no meetings with him, because if they do, they're going to be super guarded. And Sam Malone, ain't nobody trying no meetings with Sam Malone, because if they do, they're going to be super. Even Sam Malone's friends is going to look at him differently. And I don't care what nobody say. Gonna be like, what in the hell? Okay, Sam, sure, click. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. Okay. Gotcha. Click. Get ready for it. Now, I went to Jeff Pastor's Facebook page, and he posted a very cryptic message, some cryptic-ish. Like, man, why are you being so cryptic? And what was it? 3 days ago, he posted something that I think he was trying to speak about the current situation right now, because, it was a little bit more than 2 days ago in which Kevin Aldrich, he was nice enough to come on the show and talk about it. Kevin Aldrich wrote a piece titled "Jeff Pastor Should Take a Plea." And I think that was about, what's today? It's Friday. Okay, so that was less than, because that was last weekend-ish. I think we talked to Kevin on Monday, right? So 3 days ago, Jeff Pastor posted this: undeterred, all capital, UNDETERRED, with spaces in between it. And then hashtag greater together, which I think was his campaign slogan. Greater together, something like that. Undeterred. And I'm like, bruh. Undeterred, really? Shh, I'll be deterred. I don't know, man, but Jeff knows the details of his own case. Nobody can speak to it. Let me see. 3 days ago, here it is, undeterred. Now, that kind of goes with a little bit of information. Somebody who on the surface appears to be close to Jeff. I don't know if they still close. I don't know. But I'll say it this way anyway. Like somebody close to Jeff Pastor told me that Jeff is gonna fight the charges. He going to trial. Now, let me be honest with you. I'm about the drama as long as it's not in my personal life or my business or my health. You know what I'm saying? If it's out there in the world, I'm with the business. Am I wrong to say that? At least I'm real enough to say it, right? So from a media standpoint, I want to see a trial. That'd be great. We might uncover some more dark stuff from the underbelly of Cincinnati. Tales from the underbelly of Cincinnati type ish, right? I'm with the business. Check this out. This is from Jeff Pastor 3 days ago. Undeterred. Hashtag greater together. Undeterred. Okay. That sound good. That sound good. Sound like a podcast, but oh no. Oh no. You just saw Tamaya. She copped the deal quick, which I think worked to her advantage. PG put up a defense, but he was convicted on 2 out of 6 charges and is looking at jail time and paying back lots of money, paying back like $110,000. Not only is he gonna have to pay back $71,000 to the city and the taxpayers, but another $40,000 to the FBI. Where that 40 grand at, B? Run it back. He's probably got, I don't know. It might be sitting in that PG pack. You throw that money straight up in there. Here you go. Here's your money back. You know what I'm saying? Not good. And people are looking at Jeff Pastor like, dude, they said you took cash. Was taking trips. That's even worse. How you going to skirt out of this? Oh, no. Oh, no. Jeff Pastor seemed like the type to me that'll start talking. And I ain't mad at him because, sorry, nigga, I'm trying to go home. Snitch. I understand this. Do whatever you got to do to stay out. But Jeff Pastor seemed like the type where he hit that chair, the witness chair, everything coming out. Everything I know. I don't know. I get that feeling, but we shall see. Undeterred. What do you think about that? Jeff said that he is undeterred. Undeterred. Is that smart money? I don't know. It's hard to say because we don't know the details of his case at this point. We don't know what the government was doing, although they was doing some funny stuff. Now, I won't even say funny stuff, but they did some stuff that people raised their eyebrows about during the PG Sittenfeld trial. There's definitely some instances when people were like, what? They did what? Really? So what is Jeff and his legal team going to be? What kind of dirt are they going to have on the prosecutors? On the FBI investigators? What kind of dirt, if any dirt? Undeterred. And that's definitely a message to anybody that's watching. I think this speaks to his case. I don't want to see Jeff come out and say, I was talking about my son's basketball team. Come on now. Don't do that. My son was in the championship. It was AAU team. I was talking about that. Don't do that, Jeff. I think he was speaking. This is his voice speaking out about everybody saying that he should cop a plea. Jeff said, F that. I ain't doing it. I always thought that Jeff Pastor had the ability. He had the potential, should I say, to do something great for the city as a young Black Republican. I always thought that. I didn't know it would be in a sort of like a cautionary tale type way, like, moving the city forward by showing people exactly what not to do to move the city forward type stuff. You know what I'm saying? I never thought that. Yeah, I thought that. I thought Jeff had the potential as a Black Republican. He was positioned to do something good inside the Republican Party. And I believe that. I didn't know it would be like in the way of like a bad example. Don't do this type of shit. I didn't know that, but I wish that brother the best. I do. What up? Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Shut the door behind you. This ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't with the flows and not with the business. That Come on in, shut the door behind you. Your friends happen to find us, they happen to find us. Graston writes, Jeff did do something great for the city. He was the fifth vote to transform the West End and brought us FC Cincinnati. Okay. All right. All right, cool. You say so. I'm not really sure. I mean, FC Cincinnati is for certainly transforming the West End, no doubt about it. Absolutely. No doubt about it. I think the jury is still out as to whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, it's good for FC Cincinnati and all the people that support FC Cincinnati. It's great, but there's far more people that don't make any money off of it. So I don't know. But look at you, man, caping for your boy, man. You was a good friend. You was a good friend. You was a good friend, man. Look at you. Deborah writes, Black Republicans are delusional by default. I don't know if I want to say that. I wouldn't say delusion. It depends on how you look at it. Sometimes when in Rome, you got to do as the Romans do. You know what I'm saying? You might have some Black Republicans out there that just playing the game. They playing the game. You know, so I like to judge everybody as an individual by what I see, but I hear what you're saying, though. You know, we're so used to Drop's delusional ass. Drop is delusional. No doubt about it. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Joe writes, okay, Negro, you'll be sitting down for 15 years. Black man. Could be. I don't want to jump to any conclusions. Danita writes, good morning, choppers. Have a fantastic Friday. As always. Absolutely will do. Absolutely will do. No doubt about it. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. Yeah. Well, every day I wake up, I go to some of these websites and I see the same thing, if not more. And that is, you know, this police, Black community type stuff seems to have flared up again. And I mean, like this, coming from the city of Detroit, the city of Detroit has agreed to pay $7.5 million to a man who spent 25 years in jail for a crime he did not commit after new reports suggest that the police switched bullets in his case. That's the kind of stuff I'm reading on a weekly basis. That's the kind of issue I'm reading on a weekly basis. Out of Ohio, an Ohio mother blames police for her daughter's death, and she's now suing the police department. Latasha Bartlett Powell is the mother of Aurora McCarter, 17, who disappeared on July 2020. And she's now suing the police department charged with leading an investigation into her missing daughter who ended up dead. 17. My daughter's 17. I'm telling you, 17-year-olds are headstrong. They headstrong. They think they know everything. You got to really grab them up to get their attention sometimes. After 6 days without seeing or hearing from her daughter, the mother contacted the Gulf Manor Police Department to file a missing persons report. She says she gave her daughter's 18-year-old boyfriend's phone and vehicle information to help police expedite the investigation. However, she says she never received any updates from police regarding the investigation. And what she's alleging is that her daughter's missing for multiple days. She gives all this information to the Gulf Manor Police Department, and they don't do anything. They don't do anything. Or in her opinion, they don't do enough. And a month after she was reported missing, she found out that her daughter was found shot dead by a man triggered in a shooting with a man who has connections to Cincinnati. Apparently, she got caught in the crosshair of a gun sale gone bad. She was sitting in the backseat of a car with her boyfriend and another teenager when a man allegedly shot into the car. That man is now being tried as an adult for her death. It's a local story. And she blames the Gulf Manor Police Department, saying that they didn't really do their job. Now, this is not the first time that I've heard about something like this. This is not the first time I've heard about something like this. I remember I was virtually producing a podcast, and the host did a whole show, and she was talking with a sister that created a nonprofit organization that was designed to amplify the message when Black kids and Black people and Black women go missing. I learned a lot, just listening from backstage, from the virtual backstage. I learned a lot just listening to the woman as she talked about her own experiences. She had a similar experience, and she talked about all these cases around the country in which non-white people go missing, and she felt as if the police department just moved slow, that they weren't bringing the same amount of urgency as we see when it's a non-white person. I'm sorry, when it's a white person. When white little girls go missing, she felt like the world goes crazy, right? You can't get away from the alerts. When a Black girl goes missing, it's kind of like, well, are you sure she didn't run away? Runs away from home. My first question is, where's the dad at? Because you can have a mom and dad in the house. You can have mom and dad in the house, and teenagers still go to the left. That totally can happen. So let's not assume that and pile on. We love to pile on with Black parents. Maybe that's because that's what we do as a Black family. But we love to pile on when it comes to Black folks and separate ourselves. With a mama, I would never. My kids, I would never. I would never. I would never. My generation, we getting that generational kind of shit. I would never. I would never. I would never. I would never. People was runaway back in the day too. It's always gonna be runaways. Always. Always gonna have runaways. Can't get away from that. It's okay, Negro, you'll be sitting down for 15 years. I hope not. I hope Jeff beats it. I do. I sincerely mean it. I hope that Jeff Pastor beats the charges and is reunited with his family, right? And he can just do the whole family thing or whatever he wants to do. I have no idea what his plans are, but that's what I hope. Just on some one man to another type ish. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. We'll see. But back to this case. 17 in the back of the car when a gun deal is going down. So I remember there was a scene in the movie Goodfellas in which they are giving you the backstory of Henry and his wife. And apparently when Henry Hill is the main character in Goodfellas, when he's dating the woman that was going to become his wife, apparently her neighbor, some dude across the street, tried to put his hands up on her. So she calls Henry like, Henry, he did it to me. He tried to kiss me or whatever he tried to do. He smacked me or whatever. Henry runs over to her, takes her home, pulls up in the driveway. The dude lives across the street. What does Henry Hill do? Well, as the legend goes, as the movie goes, he puts his gun in his pocket or his waistband, walks across the street, no words, takes it out, and starts to pistol whip the dude over and over again to the face. Walks back over, hands the gun to his girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, is covered in blood. And this is just a movie, but in the movie, the woman says, it was exciting. I mean, there's some people that feel like that street life is exciting. Quit acting like it's not. That street life is exciting. You whipping around, you with young folk, you doing what you want to do, you're buying guns, you smoking weed, you drink, you doing whatever you want to do. Some people think that's fun. That's fun. That's much more fun than sitting in the house playing some damn video games, watching Big Brother. That's fun. No direction. She gets caught up in the wrong place, wrong time. Oh my God. As a parent, that's one of your biggest fears because you know what your kid's gonna do, but you don't know what other kids are capable of. And you don't want your kid to be with some other kid that makes some decisions, and then your kid gotta cash the check, gotta pay for it. That's the last thing you want. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Nwusi writes, delusional by, what's up, Nwusi? Nwusi Simba. How do you come up with this, man? I'm with it, though. Delusional by default, hilarious. Sheila writes, good morning, Choppers and Nathan. Good morning to you.
Get to the chopper!
Yeah, Tiaria's in the house. What's up, Tiaria? What's up? Good to see you. She writes, good morning and happy Friday, y'all. Good morning, good morning. Black Russia writes, live in Republican country, but clowns Black Republicans. Interesting. She can clown whoever she want to clown. What's up, Tanika? What up? Good morning, Nate and the Choppers.
Oh, get to the chopper!
Dang on Choppers, man. Sean writes, I'm seeing more racist acts in this nation that African-American people are second-class citizens. It is sickening. There's a war going on out there, guys. Don't make no mistake about it. On any particular day, there's several wars that are going on. There's always something going on in America. There's always a war. Now, it might not be the kind of war where people are like, shooting bullets at one another, but there's all kind of clashes, conflicts, face-to-face, tension is mounting on all different levels, all over the country, if not all over the globe. Good morning to you. Boy. I mean, sometimes you just got to say it wasn't smart and just move on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to say it wasn't smart and just move on. I'm looking at this updated article about Senator Tiara Mack. That's the Democrat from Providence, Rhode Island, that shot a video of herself on TikTok doing a headstand and then twerking. And sometimes you just got to say, you know what? Maybe it was a lapse in judgment. I'll do better. But, sometimes people are so invested that they can't do that. I'm looking at a photograph of her right now, and I'm like, who wouldn't? Hey, seems like an upstand. See, this is the kind of shit I want to see. Excuse my language. This is the kind of images I want to see from this woman. I do. This is what I want to see. And so she's still taking heat about that because she was twerking and everybody talked about it. Like everywhere, every show, everybody was talking about her. At the same time, people were saying, this is reprehensible, but we watching. Like sometimes the critique is on us and not these people. Like sometimes it says more about our society that we gravitate towards certain things just as much as the people that's doing these things that we gravitate to. I'll say it again. Everybody was talking about this sister. I got an image of her. I don't know the sister. I mean, I want to think the best. Everybody was talking about this sister and what she did. And I'm like, well, doesn't that prove that we live in a social media age where you got to do whatever you got to do to get them clicks? Nope. I'm like, wait a minute. It kind of does. Nope. This is reprehensible. Then why are we talking about it? This is her right here. Look at that. That's a nice picture of her. Staying with Black women. I like that. That's more classy. Everybody want to be fake classy out here. Classy. I'm a lady. Sure you are. Sure you are. I'm a lady. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Grasson says, want to play the PG audio. Well, I'll post the links so people can play it for themselves. I mean, you pretty much got the gist out of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but you get a chance to hear it in his own words. And like I said, PG Sittenfeld can't deliver no votes. He ain't had that kind of power. Now, sure, did he have sway and influence? They all do. They all know each other and they can sit down and have a conversation. But he ain't had no power like that. He ain't had that kind of power. Even though I know you try to make him out to be that way, that's because it fit your own whatever. But he ain't had no power. And the thing about it is you're talking about a deal that passed unanimously. All the members of council that voted on that deal passed on it, or should I say, voted for it to pass, and it passed unanimously. Now it's caught up in litigation, but that goes to show you, and I think that's what PG Sittenfeld was doing. He's like, oh, this is going to pass anyway. This is going to pass anyway. So sure, you want to give me 10 grand because you want me to help something pass that's gonna pass anyway. Okay, sure, I'll do it. Now I think there's it's all about how you come across in the words that you say. So I get it. I get it, but it is what it is. Yeah, he said, I want to be a baller like you. That's exactly what he said. So on one part of the audio tape, he's talking to Vinny, and Vinny sounds so fake. I don't know, man. Like my spider sense goes off about people, and what I've learned about it is I listen to it. Everybody, a lot of people's intuition and spider sense. I got two levels of spider sense. One is my own spider sense, which is very sensitive. The other is my wife's. I talk about my wife a lot because she's very instrumental in this show and everything I do. She just ain't in front of camera. That's the number one producer of the show. That's the number one person that knows everything that I'm doing, what my plans are. That's the number one confidant that I have. That's my number one business partner is her. I run everything past her. Almost. There's very few things I don't because she's a very sharp, intelligent lady. Lady. And I need that information. I needs it. So I don't know. Vinny never could have got me because Vinny sounded fake to me. I'm like, what? Huh? I'm telling you, folks, over the years, I've had people say all kinds of stuff. I ain't gonna get into it, but I'm looking at these people like, you do that then. Okay, well, good luck with that. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be involved. I want to be a baller like you. So at some point, PG calls up Vinny and says, I'm going to be in New York. And I know you're in New York sometime. Maybe we can have lunch. And Vinny's talking to him at some point. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm on my yacht. And PG says, I want to be like you when I grow up. Then he further says, what do you mean by that? Vinny's like, yeah, he starts laughing because it's an FBI agent. He's like, oh, we got one now. And then PG says something like, I want to be a baller like you. Everybody want to be a baller and be on yachts. Most people do. But I definitely get if you sit in a jury, how you could take that a certain way. But Eric, most men want to be a baller. Most men want that. That's most men, but it is what it is. Graston writes, funny how Tierra Mack twerks and hides behind queer black women cards, identity politics 101. To be honest with you, let me be honest with you. We still talking about it. And what I'm talking about is people's reaction to it. Like at the end of the day, that's Tierra Mack. Like, I don't care what other people do like that. Like, I remember arguing with people, my colleagues, about black men sagging their pants. I used to argue with them fools to the end of the day because they'd be all up in their feelings of talking about somebody sagging. And I used to be like, why do you care if another person is sagging? If you don't like to sag your jeans, then don't sag your jeans. And they'd be like, oh, you making us look bad. That shit don't make me look bad. That make them look bad. That's making us look bad. That's making us look bad. Then you go pick up some of those videos from back in the 50s. You had black men in suits being treated like little boys, getting smacked around. He got a three-piece suit on, dressed to the nines, getting smacked in the face and pushed and cussed and yelled at. So clearly what you're dressed like don't mean nothing to these Karens and Darrens. That's just black people. Anytime I heard somebody say, that's making us look bad, you play into that plantation mentality type stuff where we got to look a certain way for the other folks. I ain't doing none of that. I ain't doing none of that. I don't care about no damn sagging pants. If you want to sag your pants, sag your pants. But be willing to deal with the consequences. I mean, just the other day, I'm turning the dials. I remember where I was. I heard somebody talking about, yeah, sagging pants, going to a job interview. I want you to sag your pants to a job interview. You want to know why? No, they can't see you. Good morning, black woman. I always want some of your tea. Yeah, just the tea. Just the tea, ma'am. Just the tea. You know, you got to mess with the wifey. You got to. And would you like? Yeah. I'm having fun. So I don't care if people sag their pants to job interviews. Would you like to know why? Would you like to know why? Because it's Darwinian. That's why. They're going to weed themselves out to more qualified and better candidates to represent themselves. Why? You're going to make it easier for my daughter, because my daughter ain't, and my son. When my son go a job interview, he ain't going like that. You're just going to make it easier for him. And that's just the way the world works. If you want to shoot yourself in the foot, go right ahead. Somebody else will win the race. Simple as that. All these people up in arms about twerking. I don't care. I'm pro twerking. I am a heterosexual black man. I am pro twerking. I said it and I meant it, and I'm never taking it back. Period. You don't like it? Add it to the list. Add it to the list. I am pro twerking. Period. Dina writes, Nate, we heard the Barry White. Turn off the lights and light a candle. When the missus came in, you know, you got to mess with the wifey in the morning. That's what wifeys are for. Got to mess with them. That's part of the fun. That's part of the fun. So I don't care about Tierra Mack. If she want to shoot herself in the foot by twerking, that's on her. Big deal. And she's not emblematic of black leadership today. When I've heard people make these kind of decisions, man, that is not true. I heard Roland Martin. I just happened to be on the internet yesterday. Roland Martin show came up. I haven't really been watching the show. I tap in. Roland Martin is going off on New Black Media. He went off. Anybody see this yesterday? Roland went all the way off. He was cursing. I'm like, damn, Roland. Why you cursing like that? He was mad as hell. Called out Tariq Nasheed. He's like, yeah, a former pimp. I was like, oh, that's right. He was a pimp. Is Tariq Nasheed a poverty pimp? I'm starting to think that Tariq Nasheed has some poverty pimp in him. Remember back when Michael Moore was just starting his documentary career? He did a documentary about Congress. And as a part of that documentary, Tariq Nasheed played a pimp. It's like, yeah, man, this is how you mac on the ladies. And he was making a comparison between street pimping and the big time pimping that these senators, these congressmen and women do. So I understand what he's trying to say. He was like, basically these politicians are being pimped by these special interest groups the same way that men will prostitute and pimp women on the streets. And the guy who played the role was Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed got books talking about macking and pimping. And now, is he macking and pimping on the lack of political prosperity in Black Americans? Call it political poverty pimping. Is that what he's doing? That's what your boy Roland Martin seemed to say. He went off. I was like, damn, I tuned in at the right time. He went off yesterday. Like, it was a whole 20-minute segment. Anybody see that? He went in. He was talking about lace fronts, and I mean, I was picking up what he was saying. I'm like, wow, woo. And it seemed like he was in his feelings about, and I felt the same way, that you could see people being misled. And so what happened, well, he did a whole segment on this, and I'm glad he did, because I hear people talking about they ain't doing nothing for Black people, and these people have not even done the homework. They talking out their mouth, and they don't know what they talking about. And I'm like, it can get frustrating, because you know the facts, and you see these people being drawn to maybe charismatic. You know, charisma goes a long way in this business, right? Goes a long way. You can attract a lot of people with sugar rather than ish, right? And you see that happening, and you see people being misinformed. Because I've seen it myself and talked about it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not true. So he spent like 15 minutes talking about how black people have been brought up specifically in, anti-hate legislation and some of the other things that Joe Biden has did. Then he went to this whole rant about how people criticize him of being for pro Joe Biden. He's like, it ain't about Joe Biden. It's about the facts. The facts are the facts. You know what I'm saying? So, before you say, what has Joe Biden did for us, then go do your research. Go do your research first, bro, sis. Then say that. The scientific method is to come up with a hypothesis and then try to disprove it. So if your hypothesis is that Joe Biden ain't did nothing for black folks, then try to disprove it. And if you can't, then you're right. And if you can, then you're wrong. But it's that lazy, fake intellectualism. That's the laziest ish I hear in the world. Oh my God, woe is me. They ain't talking about reparations. Well, they don't matter. I'm like, wait a minute. That's not how this works. Meanwhile, you see people that have led movements for 30 years, the religious right, in their crusade to challenge Roe v. Wade. That's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be doing. But, people don't want to see good examples. I feel like some of these people in new black media are political prosperity, political poverty pimps, meaning that, like, because of the state of black people's impact in politics and the lack of representation and the lack of policy, that's the world that they live in, right? It's almost like they don't want to see black folks succeed because then it gives them a reason for being. It gives them something to talk about. Like if black people start coming out in record numbers and, really driving policy, they wouldn't have nothing to say. They wouldn't have nothing to say. So it becomes like, hamsters on a wheel where you just running and running and running and running. You outraged all the time. You outraged. Nobody cares about it. Nobody cares about it. And you never solve anything. I don't know. Anybody see this yesterday? The brother went off. I'm like, wow, he was cursing. I'm like, damn, Roland, what happened to you? Tracy writes, wasn't PG the one who had the list of folks who he was going to call on for their influence, especially to those who had ties to the black community? Wasn't PG the one who had the list of folks who he was going to call on for their influence, especially to those who had ties to the black community? I don't know. I mean, that sounds like, to me, if we're going to be real about it, Tracy, that's all politicians. Anybody that's running in Cincinnati at some point is going to try to have influence inside the black community because they need those voices. They need those votes. Now, whether that's placing ads or whether that's, making friends or whatever the case may be, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe I'm sitting here missing something. Brian writes, PG was the only one to get caught up. Let's not pretend there hasn't been or going to be backroom deals. Look at the NRA in Congress. If it's happening there, it's happening everywhere. Well, yeah, Brian, you mean PG, Tamaya, get it right, Negro, and Mr. Pastor. They are all, those are small potatoes. Those are small potatoes, and they ain't the first. They the ones that got caught. Hey, what's up, Cass? Happy birthday to you. She's been celebrating. I see you looking good. Timothy writes, it ain't for the other folks. Sean writes, we do not owe white folks any explanation. Timothy writes, it's disrespectful to my mother, your mother, my grandmother, your daughter. What is, Timothy? What's disrespectful? Brent writes, black folks who bring up respectability politics in an attempt to make them other folks like you is nonsensical. They won't like you in a three-piece suit or with your pants sagging. I'm telling you, I made that point for years with my former talk radio colleagues. None of them agree with me. They all disagree with me. I'm telling you that even smart people can be wrong a lot. I used to argue with people as to whether hip hop was going to die or not. Hip hop going to die. Hip hop is going into the metaverse. Hip hop will be along long after you're dead. I used to argue with intelligent black people about that. Oh, it's going to be a fad. It's going to come and go. And I'm looking at these people like, you ain't did no research. You don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing worse than a mofo who don't know what they talking about. They didn't read one article. Now they think they some kind of expert. Only thing worse, a friend of mine used to always say this, and I picked up on it. He used to say, the only thing worse than a mofo that's never read is a mofo that's read one book and think he knows everything. You done read one little art. Well, congratulations. You done read a book today. Now you some type of expert. Go sit your down. Go sit down. Go sit down. Drink the water. Brent writes, Roland Martin curses all the time. Does he? That's why his show is called Roland Martin Unfiltered. Does he? That was the first time, I swear. That's the first time that I've ever really heard Roland Martin curse like that. Daryl writes, I did. Roland was on point. So you saw that, Daryl? The brother went off on New Black Media, and greatly so, because, again, I hope everybody reaches all their goals. These guys, Tariq and the Black Authority, I wish them the best. I wish everybody the best. Whatever their goal is, I hope they reach their goal. And I mean that on everything. On my kids, I mean that. Wish everybody the best. However, when you hear your people being misinformed and being misled, that's concerning to me. That's concerning to me. Tariq Nasheed is fabulous at what he does. He is very charismatic. That brother is super smart, and he's produced things for the culture. I understand why people listen to him. Absolutely, 100%. No doubt about it. Okay? Don't mean I agree with everything. And just because I disagree don't mean I'm trying to tear the brother down. I like the fact that he does his show. I every once in a while I'll tap in. It's very rare, but every once in a while I'll tap in and be infotained. But this politics stuff is too serious to allow people to play games with it. It's too serious. It's too serious. It's too crucial to what we need. And again, look at some people around the city of Cincinnati that's really, really having an impact. What you're going to see are very intelligent people that's got backbone, and they got patience. They understand this is a long game. It might take 10 years for you to really make a move. That's 10 years of building context and being in the game and getting your hands dirty and being in the mud with it, right? It might take 20 years. But it's just not going to happen in one election cycle, whether you think it's right or not. It's just not going to happen. And I just don't like what I'm hearing, man. And so when I heard Roland go off yesterday, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not alone. He see it too. Daryl writes, Tariq is a grifter. I don't want to go that far to say the brother's a grifter. I understand why you say that, Daryl. I don't want to believe that about that man. I do not want to believe that. Time will tell. Time will tell. I think that brother be on point with some of his flows. That's what I call them, flows. I think some of his flows be on point, and some of them don't. Sean writes, he went in. He's tired of Tariq Nasheed calling him Porky the Pig. Is that what he calls him? Yeah. I dance for my son. Remember that? He did that little mashup. Or when Roland was dancing with Hillary Clinton. I watched some of that and I turned it off. I was like, don't do it, Roland. Don't do it. He's like, yeah, let me introduce you to how we do things. He started dancing around on stage with Hillary Clinton. I'm like, man, Negro, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, I ain't dancing on stage with no gosh darn politicians unless they did something historic afterward. And even then, I ain't doing it just because of how it looked. I ain't doing that. I dance for a master. That was a little mashup that Tariq Nasheed made about 4 years ago, maybe longer than that. He took some footage from Roland Martin's show. The funniest. It was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time, man. Oh my God. That's Tariq Nasheed at his best. That's his well, not at his best. And maybe his funniest. At his best, he's producing stuff like, that documentary series, which was just like, oh my gosh, you thought Roots was something. Oh my gosh. Woo! You talk about CRT. They should have a whole class dedicated to those documentaries. Now, we ain't got to put nothing in the books. This is gonna be documentary class, and just watch it and then discuss it after every episode. Ooh wee! You talking about blowing the lid off? Woo! Now that'll be an education. I believe that Angela's back with this Gang of Five. I believe that list was in the Gang of Five test. Right, you're right about that. You're right about that. My name was in that list. Yeah, my name was in that list. I made the Gang of Five. I was like, wait a minute. Look at me, Mom. I remember that. Yeah. I do remember that. Absolutely. Let me see. Graston writes, we got politics, poverty pimps in Cincinnati. Do we? Who? Who are you talking about? Joe Biden hasn't done ish for black folks. Again, my challenge to you, Graxton, is have you really did the legwork? Have you really did the legwork to disprove that, or to prove that claim, shall I say, to prove that claim? That is the science. That's the basic bare bones of the scientific method, which is you come up with a hypothesis and then you try to disprove it. Now, if your hypothesis is that Joe Biden hasn't done ish for black folks, then have you tried to prove that? Have you tried to disprove it? Because if you haven't, you're just talking ish. And what I found is I think sometimes we get a little emotional because we're not seeing certain headlines. And everybody's busy. I get it. We all got jobs. We busy. We can't see everything. That's what shows like this are here to sort of like condense some of the big points, you know what I'm saying? Or, passion points in the media, so to speak, and then talk about it. So I don't know. I think that sounds good, but I don't know if it is good. Terrace writes, Uncle Roro is a paid for by the Democratic Party. New black media is necessary. Terrace, I 100% agree with you. New black media is necessary. I love new media. Now, I've always had a vision for what I want to do in terms of new black media, new media, and that vision has been altered a bit. For a long time, I used to ask myself, what's a modern media company look like? And I was looking at people like Ozzy, or Ozzy, not Ozzy, but Ozzy, and other examples. And then I was looking at what they was doing with the Black News Channel, which I love it. Now, matter of fact, there's been some news. Let's talk about new black media. Let's talk about new black media for a second, because I've been sitting on some things throughout the week. It happens, you compile a show, it doesn't fit. I just keep it and maybe I'll fit later. So some things, I know people here are into black media, and you like to stay on the cusp of what's happening. And I mean, I'm just here to tell you that there are some amazing things that are happening in the world of media, and from a black media perspective. And I'm talking about absolutely awesome things. Okay. And there's some things that you need to know about. So it looks like radio or Urban One is bringing back Black Planet. Remember Black Planet? Black Planet predates Facebook. And it was basically like social media, but it was black folks. And they are now bringing that back, it appears. I was on a website that tailors to black people on the internet, and I watched this whole documentary when they were talking about unveiling and reintroducing the concept of Black Planet. Alfred Liggins the third or second, whatever it is, who is like, I don't know, CEO of Urban One, used to be Radio One, now Urban One. They call it Urban One to send a message that they're bigger than just radio now. They got a lot of IPs, and they have IPs that are outside, that are in the digital space. So now they call themselves Urban One. and they're bringing back Black Planet, saying that it's the right time for it. Did you know that they bought the company that owned Black Planet? Now, this was a company that owned Black Planet. They owned another platform called Asian Avenue, and they earned another social media platform that was tailored to Latinos. And they spent about, I don't know, like 58, it was somewhere $98 million buying these, something like that. Maybe it was 58 million. I think it was 50. They spent $60 million buying these 3 IPs, right? Did you know that the original founder of Black Planet was not Black? It's an Asian dude. Did you know that? How many people used to have a Black Planet account? Yeah, I thought Black Planet was Black owned. Black Planet was not Black owned. And so now, in the last few years, this Asian guy started a company where he was looking ahead. He's like, you know what? People from different, ethnic backgrounds and racial backgrounds, they might want to have their own thing together. So he started thinking, gotta go, son. What you got going on today? Hold on. What you got going on? Kids Expo. Okay. You brush your teeth, bro? Okay, you're looking good, man. My son. He's like, I gotta go. He gets so excited about his summer camp festive activities, man. Just makes you happy when your kids are happy, right? Absolutely. But back to what I was saying. So just think about this forward thinking of this Asian guy. And he's thinking forward. He starts Black Planet. Again, I'll ask, how many people were hip to Black Planet? Were you on Black Planet? I had a Black Planet account. I did a little check-in and I'm like, oh, snap. I had no idea. And hold on one second here. It was, as I said, it was not Black owned. It was actually like it was like a group. It was started by a few guys. It wasn't just an Asian dude. There was a few guys, but none of them were Black. And they recently sold their company to Urban One. So look for them to revamp Black Planet and bring it back. And okay, they sold it for 38 million. 38 million. 38 million. That's what it was. Black Planet had 20 million members. The name of the company that owned Black Planet was called Community Connect. They owned Black Planet, Asian Avenue, and Magente or Mijente. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds like our brown brothers and sisters, Latinx. And there was a guy named Omar Wasau. He was a part of it. There was an Asian guy, I can't recall his name, but they bought this many, many years ago. This is not a new transaction. You out? Medium boot upstairs? All right, have a great day. Peace and blessings. Beautiful. This happened many, many years ago. But now, so Radio One has owned Black Panther for a while, but now they're bringing it back. So get ready for that. They're bringing it back. That's right. Good looking for it. This is what Tracy Dillingham talking about. Open letter. No, that's not what she was talking about. I think that what Angela said is what she was talking about. Yeah, we just talked about that. Or maybe there's what, I don't know. Which were you talking about? Because I remember what Angela said, like during the whole Gang of Five text thing, what came out is that PG had a list, or he was talking with Chris Silbach about how you can get support in the Black community. And he mentioned a bunch of people, including yours truly. I can't stop somebody from saying what they want to say. What's quite interesting is, let's just say this show has a certain reputation, put it that way. Put it that way. Let's just say this show has a certain reputation. So there was that, but then I do remember that thing with the whole medium thing. And again, I don't know. Did you ever call Lincoln Black Russia and try to make something out of that? Leave that man alone. That man can support whoever he want to support. You know what I'm saying? He can support whoever you want to support. Let me take a quick pause, people. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Just pulled up to the house, don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my best, taking a moment to rest, feeling stressed out. Give it a good, I put that on good when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with that mentality. Jump on, jealousy, my bad. Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, better way. Oh, hey. Mom and Dad's only daughter, do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics, do you like the sound? Seeking approval constantly. When it's my truth I own, I speak it, don't make sense now. Give it a good, put that on good when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with that. Jump on, my bad. 'Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. 'Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, nigga catch a break. Better way. Oh, hey.
All right, we back in the building, y'all. I'm back. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. It's a beautiful Friday. TGIF, good morning to you. Good morning, and good morning. Ah, yes, that's good. Let's do it. Let's do it. Good morning to you. So we talked about the PG Sittenfeld tapes, the audio, and some of the video. Again, I think it's super interesting. You've been following the case. You should go check it out. It's well worth your time, I think. Well worth your time. Very interesting. And again, I'm not happy about what happened with Mr. Sittenfeld. I wish he got off. But as I've said before, and I'll reiterate it again, when you do the crime, you have to do the time. Period. That's the way the world works. Especially for non-white folks in America. Jeff Pastor has spoken. Here's what he had to say. Undeterred. 3 days ago, he posted this, greater together. What you mean together, huh? You on your own, bro. You on your own. Ain't no together. You did them crimes. You did them crimes, not us. Ain't no we. Yes, good morning to you. Good morning. Come on in. So yeah, Black Planet's coming back. Get ready for that. Do you think that black people will gravitate to a black-owned, black-focused social media platform? Do you think that that's something that people will get into? Do you think that black people will leave Facebook and go to Black Planet, or let's say there's another social media platform out there? Do you think that'll happen? Timothy writes, there's a psychology behind sagging. I don't care what the psychology is. I don't care. I don't sag my pants unless I want to sag my pants. If I want to sag my pants, I'm going to sag my pants. And I do not judge a book by its cover. I try very hard not to do that. Sometimes you see things and we automatically are judgmental kind of people. That's the way God made us. But by and large, Timothy, I try very hard not to judge a book by its cover, because there are people worth millions walking around the city of Cincinnati. I have met them before, been introduced before, and you never would know it. They look scruffy as hell. You would never know this dude is worth millions of dollars. There are people out there who are super intelligent and they're panhandling because life, whatever, maybe some other issues came into play. I just try not to judge a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? You hear me. I'm 6'4", so I'm always gonna accentuate the positive and all that kind of stuff. But you hear me talking about short men and tall men. In my heart, I don't look at it no differently. I don't look no different. I just know that there's a lot of short dudes that have Napoleonic complexes. And I hate that shit. Just be comfortable in who you are. That's all. But short men run the world. So I try not to judge a book by its cover. When I see these brothers walking down the street with their pants, so I see it all the time. I just shake my head sometimes, but that's on you. That's on you. With the sister that's twerking, I just shake my head. But if that's what you want to do, that's on you. I'm not going to internalize it. It's on you. You got to deal with the consequences of your own actions, period. Yeah, but when they go to a job, and whenever they talk about sagging pants, they always say the same thing eventually. What about going to a job interview? That's great. I want you to go to a job interview like that. Why? Because it's going to teach you a lesson. When you don't get the job and you look at their face and you think about it, you're going to be like, damn, I didn't get that job because I was sagging my pants. That might teach you something. And if it don't teach you anything, then you're incorrigible and this is what you want. You want a malt liquor lifestyle anyway. So you're going to live that malt liquor lifestyle. Go ahead and do it. You always want to drag the bottom of the barrel, like your pants is dragging on the bottom of on the ground. Cool. Reese Colbert is his guest who's always cursing. Really, I love what the brother's doing. I do. I support him from afar, but I haven't really been watching. I've been watching other things. I've been watching great examples of people doing things that I want to be a part of. So Tony writes, good morning, Nathan Chopper, and happy birthday to my mom today. Okay, happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday. Tony's mom, okay. Yeah. Brent writes, their job, if their goal is to mislead black people, I hope they fail miserably. I don't know what another man's goal is. I really can't speak to it. But from the outside looking in, I've just heard some of these shows, and I'm like, but Black Russia love it. Black Russia love the Black Authority. That's his guy, and I can see him really being into that. I can see that. Like I told you, I heard him calling to the. And again, I like Black Authority. I like him a whole lot. I like him a lot. I wish the brother is super successful. He's very entertaining, but it's just like nonstop belly aching. It's like nonstop, they out to get us. I'm like, okay, at some point we got to do better. You can speak some true words and still be a grifter. You're right, Anthony. I just don't want to call the brother a grifter, man, for whatever reason. I just don't want to do it. Hidden Colors, that's right. Hidden Colors was a great, he gets nothing but props for that. Now, two things can be true. You know, you could need to be corrected on this part, but Hidden Colors was super dope. It's all about people's perspective. That's all about it. Documentary class? Yeah. Because how do people learn these days? You probably go to YouTube. When you want to learn how to do something or learn how to fix something, you go to YouTube. YouTube is nothing more than a big ass encyclopedia, but instead of words, it's videos. That's all it is. It's just a big old directory. And literally like recipes to DIY stuff to how to deal with programs and anything you want to do, you can find it on YouTube, including a whole world of entertainment. That's why they're so big. It's a dope ass idea. Sean writes, it is not what politicians can do for us. It is now what can we do for each other. Our ability to make the necessary strides for progress will set a new tone in society. Yeah. And that's why you keep hearing me talk about people like Iris Rowley and people in our own community that's actually doing it. Because if they can do it, you can do it. But it takes work. It takes more than words. You know what I'm saying? Sean already knows this. I'm just saying, making a larger point to explain why you hear me say certain things. Because I'm like, wow, damn, this is a great example right here. This is what we should all do. Simple as that. Simple as that. Terrace writes, Black Planet was lit. Keisha writes, Black Planet never left. She is correct about that. Is it Magente or Magente? I don't want to mangle somebody else's the name of something. Black Planet was turned when I was in high school. Well, it looks like they're coming back. Coming back with it. It looks like 2008, something like that. Maybe it was before 2008 it was out. Oh, let me double check to see exactly when Black Planet hit. I'll tell you here, just a couple clicks. It was launched in September of 2001. September of 2001. And I believe they had 3 co-founders. Yeah, that's people thinking big, thinking like, on some next level type shit. That kind of stuff. Let me see. Absolutely. Yep, Jerome's in the house. Good morning, Jerome. Morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Jamal's in the house. What up, Jamal? Marisha, again, condolences to you and your family, Marisha. I think you just lost your grandmother, I think it was. I saw on Facebook. So this peace and blessings to you and your family in this time. I know it's very emotional. Jerica writes, morning. Got your swimsuit on, Jerica, so you can jump straight into my nightmares? Put your swimsuit on. Put that swim cap on. Mess your hair up. Timothy writes, I think we used to have that mindset. Dale writes, Black will if the social media has better technical features. Okay. Brent writes, Jeff Pastor, no, I don't know what that is. Nohoeinme. No, I don't know. Brent, come on. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're saying. Reggie writes, YouTube is a cheap vocational school on internet. That's one way of looking at it. Yeah. She says, I still have my Black Planet baby tee. Is that right? It did have t-shirts. It had a dope logo. Made sense. I didn't look at any social media until 2010. Is that right? I don't even know when I got into it. The wifey got me. She kept saying, you got to be on Facebook. You got to be on Facebook. Then I got on Facebook and was like, well, how does this work? I had no idea. And I slowly learned how Facebook works. And then, just tried to do what I do. That's it. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Let me jump over to the Chop Shop on Spreaker. Ray writes, good risings all. Just imagine having a double Spidey sense is amazing. That's right. 2 Spidey senses is better than 1. How long is too long? We keep getting NSF checks. Black folks continue to vote for Dems with very little incremental movement. Why our tax dollars are spent on pet projects with murder in the streets with no accountability, poor education outcomes, and black folks remain at the bottom of the health spectrum. And that's just a few things, IMO. Well, I hear what you're saying. She said, while other groups are thriving. I hear what you're saying. I hear you. What's up, Sharp? He writes TGIF, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. I hear what you're saying, Ray. I hear what you're saying. 100%. I think we can dig a little deeper into it, but I hear what you're saying. No doubt. I acknowledge it. Good morning to you. Hey, listen, if you want to share your thoughts this morning, you can do so very easily at 513-873-7134. Please like and share this stream. It means everything. And we had some difficulties last Sunday with Edna's show. She was not happy about it because Edna just wants to do a good job for the audience. That's it. She cares about what she's doing, as do all the great and very intelligent and creative people that I've been working with their live stream shows and podcasts. But she's planning to be back this Sunday. So the show was interrupted. I know some of you were in the stream on Sunday. So just check it out. We did a test yesterday. Just want to give you a heads up. Everything looked good. And so we rolling. I've got a couple more podcasts, 2 more podcasts that we're working on right now that I'm hoping that you can get into, because I like doing this. I like doing live streams that people can get something out of with creatives that have something to share. And we got 2 more one that will be unveiling probably between now and it might be next week. It might be now and next week. You'll hear more about it. Hopefully you'll get into it. And then another just a little bit later this summer as well. So keep your eyes open for that. Good morning. What up, Gerald? What up, Kenneth? What up, Terrence? What up, Sean? What up, Kelly? What up? What up, Lannis? What up, Gladys? What up? Good morning. What up, Tony Harris? What up? Tiff, Nakia, Janice, Joy. Good morning, Sean. Hey, good morning, everybody. Come on in. Good to see you. Kathy was on the house. She writes, good morning. I was on there a while ago. It dwindled down to a chat board. Is that, you talking about Black Panther or Black Planet? Let me see. I wonder how long it will take the whites to catfish as black people to join. Oh, that'll be immediately. Absolutely immediately. People love to catfish. Facebook user writes, good morning. What up, Facebook user? I ran into one. There's like several people, and I don't know how they did this or what Facebook is doing, but there's like 3 people that I know of that for whatever reason on this show, on my side, I see Facebook user, but you're probably seeing their real name. I don't know what Facebook is doing. It is what it is. Their platform. They can do whatever they want to do with it. Makes no difference to me. Just connect me to my peoples. Brent writes $3.96 a gallon for regular unleaded gasoline in the Dallas area. Really? Can't wait for that to happen up here. I can't wait. Okay, so let me talk about Senator Tierra Mack. Her TikTok count was banned this week. She got banned. She got banned from TikTok after posting a video while she twerked. And I don't know why TikTok banned her. She had a bikini on and she says she has no regrets about it. And that was a big time story this week. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about it because as much as people say they want substance, and some do, most people want sizzle. Most people want sizzle. I don't know, maybe about 2 years ago, I met with somebody that was interested in doing live streaming here in the city. And I told this man exactly what I just said to you. Like, and this man was all in his feelings because he was like, man, I post videos about stuff that's real and nobody's into it. And then, somebody can like be posting video of them smoking weed, sitting on some steps somewhere, and they get all these views. And I told this man, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Just do you. And now I see that he's putting it in practice. It's good to see. Stand with black women. Stand with black women. So I know we supposed to hate her this week because she twerked, but I'm not going to hate this sister. I'm not going to hate this sister. I refuse to do it. I'm not going to hate this sister. I'm not going to go overboard with the sister. She says what she said, she did what she did. It is what it is. She dismissed any criticism of her video as misogyny, classism, and racism. And I believe there's a lot of that. Like, we love to talk about what women's supposed to do with their bodies, whether it's, especially black women, whether it's wearing a hair bonnet. And yeah, y'all might say this is outrageous, but I'm like, she ain't shoot nobody. She didn't steal any money from constituents. She wasn't doing like none of the stuff that some of these Cincinnati politicians have been alleged to, and in some cases have been found guilty or pled guilty to. She ain't do none of that. She was simply twerking. And it just goes to show that the black body, the black female body, is still highly, highly, highly politicized. And here we are in the backdrop of Roe v. Wade, and we already know that women, y'all don't have control over your body. It's older white men in state legislators that control your body. So I think she's right on the misogyny piece. Like, men love to tell women what to do with their bodies. You ain't supposed to do that with your body. The classism comes in where you have black people that think they better than. That's a big thing in the black community. Black people that think they better. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't think I'm any different. I ain't no better. I'm just an average Joe born with a superlative flow. That's it. I ain't no better. I definitely ain't no worse than anybody out here. But there's some people out there that love to make themselves feel better than their brother or sister because of something they did. I would never sag my pants. I would never twerk in a restaurant. I would never wear a bonnet in the airport. Why are you wearing flip-flops? You could put on some shoes. Where your mama at? We love to do that in the black community. Tell me I'm wrong. We love to do that. I'll tell you another way in which black people love to like make themselves feel better than, on a generational tip. Our music was so much better. Your music was the same. It wasn't no different. It was just music. These songs so sexually charged now. In my generation, people really had to sing. I've heard that before. Man, please go see. Mary J. can't sing. If you don't get out of here. In my generation, man, your mom, you would get a whooping in school. The bus driver will whoop your ass. When you went and got some now laters, the guy who ran the candy shop would whoop you. And when you got home, your mama and daddy will whoop you. That's discipline. I'm like, no, that's abuse. No, boo. That's abuse. But we again, some black people like that makes them feel better about themselves or something. I don't know. I'm better than that. You ain't no better. You ain't no different. And Karens and Darrens don't see you no different. Whether you got a bonnet on or you got a suit on, your ass ain't white. Period. 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 Point blank. Whether you got a bonnet on or you got a skull cap on or you're sagging or you got a suit on, to some of them, you're all the damn same. While you run around here trying to make yourself feel better, because I don't do that. Stop it. It's classism. It's part of black folks' biggest problem. Classism. I'm better than. No. I mean, you should always think highly about yourself, but you ain't no better. And you ain't no worse. Oh, that's good stuff right there. I don't know what the hell she putting in this tea, man. That's Steel Reserve Lifestyle Serious. Steel. Is that like a beer? I think it is. Steel Reserve Lifestyle. Is that malt liquor? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Timothy writes, I can't see the full chat. I don't have it on the screen. Gas prices have dropped. That's right. Angela writes, I was telling folks that it was $4.09 when I was in Houston last week. Got back here and still paid 75 cents more. Cahorse writes, good morning. Who in here chopping?
Get to the chopper!
Upside down, twerk where you like. Yeah, I don't care about no twerk. Like I said, I'm a heterosexual man. I like to see women twerk. Period. Now what? I ain't backing away from it either. It is what it is. Now take it however you want to take it. And I ain't taking it back. I likes it. Keep twerking, ladies. Keep twerking. Remember we had that conversation about that restaurant owner down in Houston? We saw the video. We started cussing everybody out because women was twerking. You're not going to twerk in my establishment. This is classy. This is a classy. Meanwhile, you playing Big Frida. You got a live DJ playing Big Frida. The queen is back. All this Big Frida kind of stuff. But you don't expect people to get up and twerk. Just stop playing Big Frida. Play symphony music. You never seen people twerk to symphony because symphony doesn't bring the twerk out of you. Big Frida does. Pop it, 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 pop it. Drop it like it's hot. And then you want people to just sit there and just be regular degular. No. Timothy writes. Oh my God. Timothy writes, black people, keep your standards. F all that. Yeah, keep your standards, but don't act like you better than. We had this conversation about the bonnets. My mother would never allow me to wear a bonnet in public. Okay, well, don't wear a bonnet in public, but don't think you better because you see a sister that do. You ain't no better. Different strokes of different folks. That's it. I ain't never see my mama and my aunties would never leave the house like that. They would never. Okay, great for them. Great for them. Put a little feather in their cap. Pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it. You never heard about Angela? We had like a 2-day discussion here on the show. Guy down in Houston. It was a black-owned restaurant. It was full of sisters in there. Everybody was eating, but you had some women that was twerking up on the wall. Dude shut everything. I start cussing. Y'all ain't gonna be twerking in my establishment. If you don't like what I'm saying, get the F out. He cussed everybody out in there. And people in the chop shop, and again, his people was like, that's he had his right. Man, that's nasty. Twerking around my food. I'm like, so if it was a salsa, that would be different? Well, the salsa's different. Huh? You're still moving your hips. Yeah, but it's different. Uh-huh. Sure, it's different. Roy writes, the issue was it's a restaurant and not a dance hall. They were climbing up on his tables to dance. I agree. Climbing up on the table is a bit much. You got a lot of issues there, including liability. I get it. I'm not saying the man didn't have the right to speak to people. But all I'm saying is, how is you gonna come at people in a very low class way, and you talking about the way they acting, and you ain't acting no better? You are the business owner. You are supposed to conduct yourself better than that. Period. He was talking about, oh, I bought this place so we can go somewhere that's nice. Okay. But that means that even when you get frustrated, there's a certain way you need to talk with your customers. He cussed everybody out, but that's how we do each other. That's how we do each other. If it was more white folks in there and just a few black people, he would have went over to black folks and talked to. He would not have damaged the entire environment. But it spoke to two things. Number one, black folks own a little something. They lose their damn mind. They ain't never owned anything before. They don't have to, this mine. I can do whatever I want to do to you because it's mine. Okay, great. I ain't never coming back. And then secondly, like, you gonna cuss out everybody in the whole establishment because two or three or four people are twerking over there? That's the way black patrons deserve to be talked to? I don't believe it. Like I said, that was me. If I had an issue with it, I would have went over there and talked to them on the side. Like, nah, we ain't doing this. Sis, we ain't doing this. Now, I respect your right to dance. Okay, I'm not telling you can't dance, but can you not dance in here? This is not really built for dancing. And I'll tell them I'm worried about liabilities. I'm worried about a lot of different issues. I'm getting some complaints over here. Can you please not do that? You get one. The second time I come talk to you, you got to leave. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. All this cussing out black people. That's how, but again, some black people was like, I'll do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Bad business owner. That's a bad business owner right there. Brent writes, it sounds like you are expressing elitist business views, sir. Well, it can sound any way you want it to sound, Brent. I can't interpret the way that you're hearing what I'm saying. What I'm talking about is that even when you own the restaurant, I feel like there's a certain way you have to conduct yourself. Period. Even when you're right. Even when you're right. You know, you're right. The patron is dead wrong. But you are the owner of the business. You got a certain way. You can't act like you on the streets. That's all I'm saying. Like, black patrons deserve more respect from black owners of their establishment. It's a two-way street. That's all I'm saying. It's a way you do it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. That man was wrong. That man was wrong. Good morning to you. We're also talking about Jeff Pastor. Jeff Pastor posted this 3 days ago, undeterred. Sounds like he's moving forward with this case, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll say it again, Mr. Pastor, or people close to Mr. Pastor. I mean, as a media person, I want to see all of the trials. I love a good trial. It's great for business. It gives us something to talk about. And then, man, listen, we're going to hear more about Sam Malone. You know, Sam Malone is somewhere like, yeah, I hope we don't go to trial. There's some people out there that do not want Jeff Pastor to go to trial because their name might come back up. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Oh, man. I bet Sam was like, please cop a plea, Jeff. Please. Please. Because allegedly, and we learned in some PG Sittenfeld trial, that's the way that Jeff Pastor met the FBI agents, through Sam Malone. So don't you think we're going to hear more about that in this trial? You gosh darn pretty much, I think that's a good, safe bet. And if you're Sam Malone, that's the last thing you want to happen. Oh, man. So Jeff Pastor is a black Republican. Sam Malone's a black Republican. And Sam Malone allegedly introduces Jeff Pastor to FBI agents. And that leads to him getting, whatever. Now, do I blame Sam Malone for what Jeff Pastor did? Absolutely not. I blame Jeff Pastor. Somebody might introduce you to anybody. Don't mean that you're going to make a deal with the devil. You don't mean that. So nobody get anybody twisted. I hate it when we try to blame other people for grown folks' actions. That's on them. But I'm just saying though, your fellow black Republican, he's an older statement. He come to you, he's like, yeah, listen, I got these guys over here. But again, what I've heard from multiple sources is that Sam Malone maintains that he didn't know anything about these FBI agents. And again, I think that's totally plausible because PG Sittenfeld was dealing with Vinny. And as I'm listening to the tape, I'm thinking like, bruh, something ain't right here. Nah. He's got the little accent. Yeah, he got the accent. I'm on my yacht and this, that, and the other. Yeah, my kids. He's telling all these stories of, it's like it's just like something straight out of movies. You know what I'm saying? And if PG didn't know, well, then it's safe to say that Sam Malone didn't know. Jeff Passer didn't know. He had no idea. Hey, good morning to you. If Jeff is smart, he will cop a plea. Maybe. Thierry writes, people dance at most brunches. It's kind of the culture. It's really a good vibe. Did they get carried away, climb on the furniture? Yes, but the owner did too much. Thank you, Thierry. Did people get carried away? But that don't mean you cuss out everybody in the damn establishment. That's bad business. But, some black folks ain't never owned shit. And so they own a little bit of something. It go to their head. You ever been around somebody like that? I've seen it before where you take somebody who ain't never had a position of any kind of authority, ain't never had any kind of position of responsibility, and they go too far with it. They don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I looked at that brother. It's a way to do everything because when I walk in the door, I'm a grown woman, don't talk to me like that, and I'm spending my money. Right. I never would have did that. Or should I say not in that scenario? There's a time for everything. There might be a scenario where you got to address everybody in the room. It might call for that. But just remembering back to that case, that wasn't it. Brother went too far with it. Disrespected everybody in the establishment. Talking about, don't disrespect me. So you don't want to be disrespected, so you're going to disrespect everybody else. Let me post a link where you could check out these PG Sittenfeld. It's always interesting when you see typos, like in the Cincinnati Enquirer or some of these big publications. Like, don't you got copy editors? There's a typo here. They got PG, but it should be a comma. It should be a period instead of a comma, or maybe a comma and a period. No, it should be a period. They got a comma here, but it is what it is. PG Sittenfeld files, hear and watch the FBI recordings. Like, who am I? Y'all know I can't spell. You already know, or it seems that way anyway. Quite interesting. They got all the audio tapes here, and Dukeway is a hell of an actor. That guy, man, he missed his calling. He should be like a voice actor or something because he sounded pretty believable in those little clips that I listened to. I listened to pretty much all of them. And the Inquirer does a good job of sort of like, bookmarking them so you know what you're going to hear. And you can also see some of the interactions as well. Hold on one second, folks. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. And I just missed a call. Whoever that was, call me back. I'll put you straight on. That was totally on me. Yeah, November 15th, 2019, a call between Sittenfeld and Vinny, Vinny. And you can hear PG Sittenfeld saying, I want to be a baller like you. Now, I don't recall if that was a time frame in which the jury found Mr. Sittenfeld guilty on some of those charges. I think there were 6 charges. He was found guilty on 2. I don't recall, but I get it. You a jury, government's making a case, and you're hearing an elected official talk like that. I get it. I can understand how, some of them were looking at that not favorably. I get it. I told you my thoughts about what I thought was going on. Good morning to you. Charles writes, LMAO, the mark has no idea he is being led until that trap tightens around them, right? But again, you go listen to it, man. You hear Vinny, and it just sounds so, I don't know. Like, it's easy for me to sit here now, but I'm going to tell you, though, like, Vinny, his name is Vinny. It's just some things that just like, I don't know if I can go with this. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. It's Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. I'm retired. What up, Nate?
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm loving your energy, but I don't see your face on the screen. What's up with your camera, bruh?
Yeah, I didn't put the camera on today.
Oh, okay. You're not feeling it, huh?
Nah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, that's tough, man. When you start going live on video, it could be some pressure on the person in front of the camera, and then you got to resort to the no face on the camera. But that's all good though, Nate, because it's your voice, it's your superlative flow,
absolutely,
that ignites all the ears in the greater Cincinnati area.
Absolutely.
But you know what Nate, you know what I'm gonna talk about today, bro.
I don't.
Real clear politics.
God. Here we go.
Now, Nate, you remember back 5-6 months, no, almost a year ago. It was almost a year ago when I started. I asked you, could I come on every Friday and talk about Joe Biden's approval rating? And this was around the time after Afghanistan when his polling just started to decline. And it's been on a steady decline for almost a year because the Afghanistan war ending anniversary will be coming up next month in August. So right now, President Biden's real clear average of all the polls has him at 38.6 job approval. And the other one that's really important is 75.4% of Americans think that the country is heading in the wrong direction. So again, Nate, I appreciate all the stories you have on your show, but I don't hear a lot of encouragement for people to turn out to vote. I don't hear Kev on the sale trying to pump people up. I don't hear the Georgia Peach. I don't hear Big Booty Brent. Brent from Texas. I don't hear
Brent? What in the hell?
That was a Joe Biden flub. I misread the teleprompter. but Nate, all I'm saying is I'm not hearing the encouragement of people to vote. But on Twitter, where I thrive and where I dwell on the Black Not Democrat Twitter account, I'm noticing a lot of people are questioning the Democrat Party. And these people are Black, they are young, and they are rich. They got money. So a lot of the people that were out here caping for Joe Biden in 2020 and 2019, they're not doing it anymore. I don't even know what happened to Roland Martin. Well, he's not even on my Twitter feed. On my YouTube feed. He used to be there all the time.
How many
and he's dropped off.
Are caping for the Republican Party and caping for Trump? You hear a lot
That's
of that?
not the point. See,
I'm just asking,
that's what you. Okay, ask the question again, Nate.
I'm saying, do you see a lot of these young, Black, affluent people that are caping for Trump and caping for the Republican Party?
No, I don't see them caping for the Republican Party because for some reason you just didn't hear what I said.
I heard every word you said. It was just incomplete.
Okay, so what? No, it wasn't. All I said was, Nate, it's a lot of young Black people who are holding the Democrat Party accountable. They're not talking about running to the Republican Party. They're talking about holding their party accountable. Because Nate,
you love that,
listen,
don't you? Because that fits into your plans.
That was my goal from the very beginning, bro. And don't act like you don't know what my goal was.
To not vote to help your party.
No, get black people, if they want their party to deliver for them, you cannot turn around to the opposition party and say, what have they done for black people? No, and that's what I'm telling you.
How many major parties are there in America?
It's only two, Nate.
Okay, then.
You know that.
Right.
So
if you're telling black people to not vote for Democrats, then where does that leave
them?
That's
not what I'm doing.
That's exactly
not
what
I'm
you
doing.
said you were doing. You already told me what you said you want black people to hold the Democrat Party responsible by not voting in a couple of election cycles. Isn't that what you said?
Said accountable and responsible are two different things, Nate.
You said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you want black people to hold the Democrat Party accountable by not voting in several election cycles. Isn't that true, sir? Don't back away from it now.
Of course, that's what I said.
Okay, so who does that benefit? That benefits the other major party, Republicans. See, I see right through you, bro.
Nate,
I see right through you. Stop misleading black people.
Can you calm down? Can you calm down a bit, okay? Because again,
no, I'm not gonna calm down. No, I'm not gonna calm down.
Why are you getting all upset? Why are you getting into your feelings, sir?
I'm just naturally animated when I hear BS. This is a natural reaction.
We're having a political discussion about political strategy from the voter point of view.
No,
now, again,
from your point of view.
Again, Nate, as a voter, you can leverage your vote, you can withhold your vote, or you can vote. Those are your three options, okay? Now, when you leverage your vote, like in some cities and some states in the primaries, you don't have to be specific party. You can vote for whoever you want in the primary. But again, see, now you're going to interrupt me. Go ahead. This is your show.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to say, sir, that, we already get it. The reality is that you are a lifelong Republican and you're trying to do your best to get black people not to vote. And
that's not true.
Yes, you
That's
are.
not true. I am not a lifelong.
You just said
I am not a life.
You're a lifelong Republican who has
I am not a lifelong Republican,
sir.
I am not
Republican.
I am not
Donald Trump supporter. You voted for him twice. You'd vote for him again. And you're trying your darnest to get people not to vote under the subterfuge. It's about holding the Democrats responsible, but you're really trying to help the Republican Party. Stop lying. Stop lying.
Nate, did I help the Republican Party in 2020 when Joe Biden won and he got 80 million votes?
You tried your damnedest. You tried your damnedest.
Did Ice Cube help?
You tried your, I'm not talking about Ice Cube. I'm talking about you. You tried your damnedest. So you're, like I said, you're pro-Republican, and that's fine. I just want you to admit it. That's what gets me. Just admit it.
Right. You're trying to form a narrative about me, a person that's been talking to you for 4 years, and you've even acknowledged.
Don't get in your feelings.
There was a time when you talked to me more than your family.
Don't
you
get in your
talked to Black Russia more than your family. You talk to Fame more than your family. So you know where I come from.
But
Nate,
I'm your brother.
It's 2022.
And I'm what I see.
It's 2020. It's 2022. It's your show. It has evolved.
It has nothing to do with my show or the show evolved. I'm your brother.
You got new people in here listening.
And this is what I see.
No. If people just tuned in this year, Nate, and they hear me and you conversate, they're not gonna think you're my brother. They're gonna think you don't like me.
Well, they can think what they want to think. It don't matter what other people think. I'm telling you. See, now you get in your feelings. Get out of your feelings.
How?
I can hear it in your voice.
Not emotional. I'm not. Because you know me now, right?
It's not about that. I've heard. I can hear it in your voice. And what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Okay, so
I can see right through what you're trying to do.
All I'm saying, Nate, is
you are a lifelong two-time voter for Donald Trump.
I am not.
You are
a lifelong Republican.
Okay.
Stop, sir.
Your whole adult life, you've been voting Republican. How about that?
Well, why don't you just ask me when I first voted for Republicans to settle it for everybody that's listening? When did you first
start voting for Republicans?
In 1988, when I was 28 years old.
How old old were you in 1988?
I was 28, Nate.
Okay. So
I started
Republican
voting
since 1988. I'll amend it. I will edit my flows. So you've been a Republican since 1988.
Well, first you got to tell people how old I am right now.
You're 60.
Some people think I'm young. Some people think I'm young.
Listen, you've been Republican since 1988. Thank you for the clarification. And
but Nate, I've only
trying to convince people to not vote. Why, as a black man, are you trying to convince your people not to vote if you really care about us? Stop it.
Okay, Nate, you're putting out a false narrative. I've only been on social media since 2017. Okay, and you're trying to make me to be some political operative that's been involved in politics since 1988.
Sir,
that's not true.
Sir, you use the word operative.
So the people,
I've never used that word with you.
I've never the people who listen to your show, the people who listen to your show and who have listened to me over these past 4+ years, okay, they know the story. They know, they recognize what's going on now, okay? So again, Nate, all I do is point out things from a black Republican. So why are you? So why has your conversations with me changed ever since Joe Biden has been in the White House, and his performance has been a freaking disaster?
Maybe it's because since Joe Biden's been in the White House, I'm noticing what you're doing more. Maybe that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, you've been a Republican since 1988. And I've
only been on social media for 4 years, Nate. I've only been on social media for 4 years, bro.
The point I'm making is that you are 2 feet in the ground for the Republican Party. That's the point I'm trying to make. But yet,
everything that
comes out of your mouth, sir, is trying to get black people to give up their political power. And the only thing that benefits is the party that you stand 2 feet for. And I just want you to admit it.
Admit that you are setting a false narrative for me.
No,
I get it. I understand it.
Admit.
As long as you continue to let me call your show.
No, sir.
You just talk over. You talk over me more. You interrupt more. Right ahead.
The floor is yours. You got the floor.
Nate, I already said, well, okay, let me finish what I'm going to say. I just want to give a couple of shout outs to some people. I want to give a shout out to Vladimir Putin for lowering our gas prices, because our president, he has no control over the gas prices. So shout out to Putin. And then I want to give a shout out to Herschel Walker, who is now in a statistical tie with Raphael Warnock. And I want to give a shout out to Stacey Abrams for raising a whole lot of money, but currently she trails Brian Kemp. And then my last shout out is for my sister down in Florida, Val Demings, who getting her ass beat by Marco Rubio in Florida. So I appreciate you taking my call, Nate. I ain't gonna stop calling as long as you keep taking my call.
I don't want you to stop calling, brother. I don't want that.
I love it.
Your flows. I love it.
I know you do.
Just
I know you love
who
it.
you are and what you're trying to do. Just be real about it.
Nate,
you're trying to get black people to turn off the Democrat Party to favor the Republican Party. That's what you're trying to do.
Nate.
Period.
Nate, every time I try to explain what the Black Not Democrat experience is about on Twitter and when I call your show, is you interrupt me. You try to change it. Because I'm trying to explain for the people who are new to the Nathan Ivey Show, who don't quite know what the Drop Squad 52 experience is like. Could you explain it quickly,
and I will not open my mouth. The floor is yours. Could you explain it right now for those new people? Because I would love to hear it.
Okay. It ain't going to take that long. Originally, I was on Twitter as Drop Squad 52 during the Trump administration. I was exposed. I was dropping bombs. I was doing all kind of political stuff. Then I got suspended. So I went to Nate. I said, Nate, they suspended me. I'm changing my name. I'm coming in with something new. And I said, I'm going to be the black that's not a Democrat. Nathan Ivey said, no, you need to be the black that's not partisan. I said, no, Nate, I want people to see my Twitter account that is now Black Not Democrat.
I never said that.
And okay, fine. That's fine, Nate, whatever. But what my goal is is to expose the Democrat Party for what they really are and allow people to see my post and question, trust but verify what the Democrat Party is doing and saying now that they're in power, and they've only been in power for the last 17 months, and it's not going well. And you could tell that my influence, other people's influence on Twitter and other social media, they are holding the Democrat Party accountable. These are other Democrats. They're not Republicans like me. I don't get paid. I don't fundraise. I don't sell merch. I don't do none of that crap. I'm retired. This is my hobby. This is what I do. So I hope that clears it up for all the new people who listen to the show and are listening to Nathan Ivey trying to form a narrative of who I am.
Well,
I used to call this show every single day for almost 4 years straight.
Can I say something now?
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So I got to correct you, brother. I never told you what you should do and how you should do it. That's not what I said.
You suggested.
What I suggested to you is that I didn't understand black, not Democrat, if you're on some pro-black type ish. If you're pro-black, wouldn't it make more sense to say black, not partisan? Because neither of the parties have delivered for us. That's what I said to you. I'm in no place to tell you or any other person what they should do or what they not do. I just offered an observation. That's number one for clarification. And what you left out of that is about 2 or 3 months ago, we was talking, dropping. I asked you, I said, so what's the plan? What's success for you? And you told us here on this show that success is black people not voting in the upcoming election and maybe sitting out for 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 election cycles. And in your own words, you was like, yeah, that'll show the Democrat Party. And I'm like, wait a minute, show the Democrat Party? All you would do is open up the door for the Republicans to take complete control. And so that's when I came to the conclusion that your real goal is to try to finesse black people to either not vote or to vote Republican, because that's truly what your purpose is. You're trying to convert people into the Republican camp or convert them to not vote at all, which is the same as like giving votes to the Republican Party. That's why I said that. And guess what, bro? That's good. I just want you to be man enough to admit it. Just admit that's what you're trying to do. That's it, bro. That's it. That's all.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, you misunderstood what I said. And I said it was a political strategy to leverage your vote to hold the Democrats accountable. See, that's the part you keep leaving out, is the accountability of the Democrat Party. Because guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen when they lose in November, Nate? They're not going to say
over and then put a whole bunch of stuff in place that don't benefit
Nate,
our communities and our families and our American dream. That's what's going to happen.
No, I'm talking about the response of the Democrat Party when they lose the majority. They're going to blame it on voter suppression. They're going to blame it on Donald Trump. They're going to blame it on everything except for their failed policies. Okay? So that's all I'm saying, Nate. That has never happened. It's happening now on social media. I'm seeing it happen. It's happening. Okay, Georgia Pete's going to call in. He be talking about it all the time. He's in this space and that space. It is happening, Nate. So again, I love it, bro. I love your show. You know I love politics.
I love your flow.
You know, man. I love it.
But your
I'm gonna keep flowing
with you. I'm never gonna lie to you. I'm never gonna lie to you.
I'm
always gonna keep it real with you. If I feel a certain way, I feel a certain way. If I don't, I don't. I'm always gonna be.
Did you say
you're always gonna know exactly how you stand with me. Always.
But I get it, Nate. But all I'm saying is your flow has changed, Nate, since Biden has been in office. You're totally. But I get it. You switch from offense to defense. I switched from defense to offense. So I get where you're coming from, but this is just new for you and me on your show. That's all I'm saying. And my opinion is that the change has occurred because of, one, Joe Biden is not doing very good. And all those things I said about the Democrat Party when Trump was the president is coming true right now. And to me, that is why you sometimes sound like you're in your feelings, or you look from when you're on camera, you look like you're pissed off when I call in and start dropping that science. So that's all I got, Mr. Ivy. And all I got to say is be safe in them streets, choppers, because it's Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. I'm retired. Just 452 job. They say to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace out.
You have a great weekend, dropping a great Friday. That's my brother right there. Ah, my gosh. That man right there. But I appreciate, I think Drop thinks I don't like him or something. I love my brother. Absolutely. 100%. Nobody can replace Drop ever. You know what I'm saying? That can never happen. I like him just the way he is. Don't change a bit, bro. Keep being you. Just be real about it. So people are talking about LeBron James. LeBron James made a statement about Brittany Griner. First, let me say this. I think Brittany Griner's coach was completely wrong to bring up LeBron James. Brittany Griner has one person to blame for her predicament, and it's not men, it's not women, it's not the NBA, it's not the WNBA, it's Brittany Griner. She admitted that she mistakenly took the stuff with her. Story ends right there. Story ends right there. LeBron James never would have mistakenly taken drugs into another country because he would have been more careful than that. So the coach is right. If it was LeBron James, he never would have been in that situation. Brittany Griner was reckless and careless, and it cost her. That's it. That's all. It's not about, and I hate the way that, like, instead of just dealing with the real, we want to like come up with these proxies, right? It's because she's gay. It has nothing to do with she's gay. It's because she's a woman. It has nothing to do with she's a woman. It's because she's just a WNBA player and they're not as valuable as NBA players. Now, we know that there are issues in all those three type of worlds. But the reason why Brittany Griner is incarcerated is because of Brittany Griner, period. Gosh darn, personal responsibility ain't a thing no more. She did it to herself. If you're going to be traveling the world, you better, here's what I would tell you. If you're going to travel the world, you better make sure you know the laws. And now Enes Kanter Freedom rips, that's another player, is ripping LeBron James saying, keep taking your freedom for granted. Enes Kanter is one of the most outspoken NBA players when it comes to like international issues. He ain't outspoken when it comes to the things that Black Americans care about. But things that are happening overseas, he seems to have a handle on it. And so people criticize LeBron James because LeBron James was like, does she even want to return to the United States? Like, there are better places for a Black woman to be than the United States. And all of the right-wing media people have been talking about it. And then LeBron James walked it back. He's like, yeah, well, maybe I'm going to walk back that statement about America. LeBron James is trying to own an NBA franchise. LeBron James is a billionaire. LeBron James does business in China. He does business the globe over. So he can't necessarily afford to have like a dim view of America, but you want to be a big time American capitalist. I get it. But let's get this straight, yo. Brittany Griner did that to Brittany Griner. She did it to herself. She did it to herself. She admitted that she mistakenly took the drugs with her. And she says that people do this. I didn't intentionally break the law. I'm like, yo. So you packing your bags and you mistakenly take some drugs and put it in your bag and then go through customs and go to the airport of another country. Whose fault is that? That's your fault. Like when you're packing your bags, it's your responsibility to make sure you got all the things you need in your bag. You're the one putting the bag together. You put your undies in there. You put your deodorant in there. You put whatever you travel with, your blankie, your binky, your favorite whatever, your favorite throw, your favorite sweater. And don't forget my vaping pipe. I mean, who you want to blame? Sis? Was you high while you were packing? Is that what happened? She was high while she was packing? That might explain it. But that's not LeBron James' fault. That's nobody's fault. You did it to yourself. Just saying. Sneakerhead says, I need to research the topic a little bit more. You're not telling a complete story. What am I missing? Sneakerhead, tell me what I'm missing. What did I leave out that you think is relevant? Please tell us. I don't want to be wrong now. I want to make sure we're giving factual information out. As I understand it, when Brittany Griner stood in that Russian court, she stood up and said, Your Honor, I'm pleading guilty, but there was no intent. I didn't want to break the law. That's what she said, verbatim. Brittany Griner has said that she committed the crime out of carelessness. Quote, she was getting ready to board a plane in Russia in a hurry, and she didn't intend on breaking laws. So what am I wrong about, Sneakerhead? Or are you talking about something else? Because that's the story. Brittany Griner admitted her guilt. And again, we can argue about what that means to admit your guilt in a Russian courtroom because I don't know the details on that. But what's out in the media is that Brittany Griner mistakenly packed up some drugs in her suitcase and didn't mean to do it. That's a mistake. But mistakes cost grown people. They cost you. I'll tell you one thing. If I'm going to Russia, I'm going to make sure I know what's in my bag. I don't know about you. I might go through that 2-3 times. I'm going to put my hands in all of the zippers and all the crevices and creases just to make sure. Wouldn't you? I know I would. And we're talking about Russia. So personal responsibility to make sure you know what's in your bag ain't a thing no more, Sneakerhead. Come on, yo. We got to stop making excuses. Sneakerhead writes, she's been playing ball over there for past 5 years. I'm definitely sure she was aware of the law. She is being used as a pawn. A Sneakerhead. I just read Sneakerhead Nay. I just read to you the facts. She put herself in that situation. It'll be different if she's like, how'd those drugs get in there? Somebody playing those drugs. That's different. That's not what Brittany Griner has said. Brittany Griner said, oops, my bad. Oops, my bad cost you. Oops, my bad cost you. It costs you. You and I, average Joe Blow American citizen, oops, my bad, that cost us. That might cost you some money. That might cost your liberty. It costs you. That's what being grown means. When you hit 18, oops, my bad, start to cost you. Brittany Griner is a grown-ass woman who's been traveling international for a long time. She, above you and I, are supposed to know better. She should have known better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she thought I could squeeze this in because usually I get through customs so easy breezy and I can have my vape in. I need my vape or whatever she was trying to do. Maybe that's what she thought. Or maybe it was just an innocent mistake where she didn't mean. She typically takes her vaping utensils out of her suitcase, but she mistakenly forgot them this time. It cost you. Let's not turn this into a WNBA versus NBA or heterosexual versus homosexual, or let's call it what it is. She made a mistake. Cost you. Sad. Cost you. I think Jerica's trying to make a point. Stop it, Jerica. Stop it. As we give our opinions on Britney actions, saying that we would never have done that, are we saying that we are better than her? I don't think so. I don't think anybody's saying that. Stop it. Brian writes, Cantor is a born-again patriot, pro-American immigrant type that is oblivious. Every time he opens his mouth, I'm disgusted. Nat writes, Eric Cantor don't know ish about Black American history. Sneakerhead writes, Nate, I think Sneakerhead, send me a link, man, because I want to be on point. Send me a link. If I'm missing something, send me a link. Nakia writes, I thought she can explain that with a medical cannabis prescription. Oh, my God. Yeah, I heard that, too. That's the latest, that she had a medical prescription from a doctor. So medical prescriptions travel over international lines now? She can't have it both ways. She can't say, oops, my bad, I mistakenly did this. But guess what? I got a medical prescription for it. The Russians don't care about that. Let me see that medical prescription. Oh, this is your little medical prescription? Here's what they think about it. Ball that motherfucker up. Ball it up real quick. There's your medical prescription. Put it in the trash. Now you going to jail. Come on, yo. Charles writes, I'm not even going to Russia. I know the history of the country. Brittany graduated from Baylor. She had to have known how Russia is, if nothing but current events alone. I mean, I feel for the sister. I want her to come home, but the moral of the story is check your bag. Check your bags before you start flying internationally. Simple as that. You know you doing drugs or you got a prescription for that and the other. Like even in the United States, you can't do that everywhere in the United States. Know what state you in. Know the laws. But don't tell me you made a mistake and now you some kind of political prisoner. You might be, but you put yourself there, sis. Oh, my God. Ray writes, white folks hold their elected officials accountable. Why can't black folks without being called another party? I mean, you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. But what does holding our elected officials accountable mean? What does that mean exactly? Does that mean sitting out of elections? Or does that mean voting smart? What does that mean, holding our elected officials accountable? What does that mean exactly? You know, Drop, what he wants black people to do is not vote. And that'll give his party a head start on a race. That's what he thinks. I think that's foolish. So here's another example about holding our getting the party accountable. Black people got to get involved in the primary system. They got to get involved with the primary system. Like, for instance, and again, I'm just using this as an example. You got Tim Ryan. You know, Tim Ryan is the Democrat establishment. So for folks who don't like the status quo of the Democrat Party, but you had another sister. We talked to her for about an hour. Asked her all the questions. Was it Morgan Harper? So what I'm saying is you can't sit out of primaries and then criticize who's there for the election. It's like, why don't we start by really getting involved first? Rather than throwing our hands up and saying they all the same, because all the politicians are not the same. But what happens is, in my observations, people don't take enough time to really do their homework. I'm noticing that more and more and more. People belly aching and making these grandiose statements about what's happening and what's not happening, and they don't know what they're talking about. They haven't really done the research. They're not really looking at the candidates. So if you looked at Morgan Harper and you looked at Tim Ryan, they were not the same. Both seeking the Democrat nomination, but they were not the same. I'm not criticizing either one of them. All I'm saying is we had a choice right there. We got choices, but we don't take the choice. And then when we get the finished project, then we want to bellyache. What? Huh? So in the city of Cincinnati right now, when it comes to black voters, What's the turnout numbers for black people? What is it like? 10%, 15%? We talking about a 10 or 15% turnout rate in the black community in Cincinnati. But then people will say, well, politics don't work for us. Huh? You're not even participating. Like, even if they were candidates. So for instance, in this last election cycle, there was quite a few candidates that caught my attention. And they caught my attention because and again, shout out to the NAACP in Cincinnati. They do great work trying to educate people. But because I was virtually hosting and then moderating those debates, I got a chance to actually hear what they were saying. There were some wide and different choices of candidates in the last election cycles. You had some new voices that had a new direction and a new mentality, and Cincinnati voters didn't vote for them. Black people didn't turn out. They ain't turn out. And some of these same black people will say, the system don't work for us. Huh? You can't have it both ways. You cannot not participate and then bellyache and bemoan and criticize the choices of the people that did. It's never going to work. It ain't never going to work. There were some different voices and some different approaches, some young voices that maybe weren't Democrat establishment candidates. And they didn't get enough votes. And you didn't get enough votes because many of these candidates struggle to get money. It goes back to money in politics. It's hard to see new voices when the same old voices got $100, $150, $20,000. You're not going to see them. You're not going to hear about them on radio because they can't afford the radio ads. Now, does that mean that they're not viable candidates that could bring something to the table? No, it don't mean that. It just means they're not hooked up with the system to make the money. So you're going to keep getting variations of the same old, and that's just what it is. And that's just what it is. And that's the truth. That's the truth, but people don't want to hear the truth. They will much rather say, talking, sweeping generalities. They didn't do this. They're all this. They don't care about it. And I'm like, have you seen some of the precinct poll numbers in some of these black neighborhoods? They're not representative at all. They're not representative at all. So there's a whole lot of people in Cincinnati that have a voice, they have something to say, and we just don't hear from them. And many of these people don't jive with politics because they don't feel like politics serves them. And so it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, we get the same old people, do the same old things. There's no real return. People feel like politics don't matter, so they don't vote. We get the same old people. They deliver the same old returns. People feel like nothing happens, so they don't vote. We get the same old. It's like a hamster on a wheel. We get the same old. We get the same old, but we have power. We got a whole lot of power if we can come together and stop with the BS and really get behind something. But that's easier said than done. That's much easier said than done in my humble observation. You know what I'm saying? In my humble observation. And I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not saying you should have voted for Morgan or not. All I'm saying is that Morgan Harper was not Tim Ryan. And so people think that all Democrats are the same. They are not all the same. They're not. You got some that lean progressive. You got some that lean more moderate. There's differences there. A more progressive Democrat is going to be pushing in some ways that a moderate Democrat will not. They will not. They are not the same. But if we keep getting the same old types of Democrat candidates, then they get elected, they go to the fall, right? They go to November, then we're gonna get the same old policies. Meanwhile, the people that are outside of the beaten path, they can't raise the money. They can't raise the money to get significant visibility, to get on radio, to get on TV, to get internet ads, to get yard signs. You know how much it costs to get 10 yard signs? We're talking about hundreds of dollars. I mean, we're talking about a lot of money. You know how much it costs to get on TV? We talking about tens of thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? It's very expensive. It's very expensive. And if you can't do that, then you ain't gonna be seen. Nobody's gonna hear from you. You might be the greatest candidate. Like I said, there were quite a few people that impressed me. Quite a few people. There were people that got elected, and I was less impressed by what they had to say than people who were not elected. I'm like, okay, I like the way you're thinking. You're moving differently, and that's what we need. That's what I need. But what you got to understand is like even inside the Democrat Party, this is just my belief. There are people that, like, if you're like a progressive that's really, really, really trying to push the needle and challenge the status quo, even inside the Democrat Party, you ain't gonna get support because they feel like, you know, you're not right for the times or you're not electable or things like that. It doesn't mean they don't have good ideas. They just can't get the support. So I think we should have more of these kind of nuanced conversations about Democrats and Republicans and politics rather than making these broad statements that are not true about how they ain't do nothing for black folks. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You know, the real question is, what are we doing? That's the real question. And I know I'm boring the hell out of you because I don't want to come across like that. So I'm going to stop. I don't want to bore the hell out of people, but Tierra writes, I had no idea how expensive running was until I did it. I've never run, but just having a toe in that world and kind of hearing and seeing things, I'm like, man, it's hella expensive. And we ain't even talking about the cost to get a qualified campaign manager. We just talking about advertising. We ain't even talking about how much it costs to get a qualified campaign manager. Somebody that's got experience that can guide you and help you get your campaign out there. You talking about big money. You're talking about lots of money. And, you know, I just feel like people should put their money where their mouth is. If you really want all these big change, put your money behind these candidates then. Because they out here. They need it. That's one of the reasons why in the last election cycle, I tried very hard. I didn't do it. But my goal was to talk to each and every candidate. There was just so many of them. We talked to a lot of them. And some candidates were just not ready. They weren't ready. But they had some cool ideas. Some candidates seemed like they were ready, but they didn't win. Some candidates were saying the same old, same old. You know, they really weren't saying nothing that was too big. You know, it's the same old rhetoric, but they was keyed into the Democrat Party machine, and it worked for them. It worked for them. So, I just feel like the politicians have a role to play, but really, it's really about what the people gonna do. The people got more power. We got more power than we really know. We got all the people listening to this show. If we all got together and decided we wanted to make a move here politically, we could have awesome power. We have awesome power. But part of doing that is like everything ain't gonna be a perfect fit. And are the people that don't perfectly fit okay with that? Or will it be what we see in other places? I ain't doing that. I don't want to be a part of that. I see that all the time in the black community. That split. And it is what it is. I mean, the reason why they keep winning is because we don't know who friends and foes are inside our own community. We don't have no idea. Just saying. Brent writes, when I traveled for business for Japan, HR explicitly told us what over-the-counter and prescription drugs that we could take and what we couldn't take. 100. Right. Nakia writes, I just went to Tennessee and I medicate with cannabis products and I didn't take any with me because it's not legal there because you're a smart individual. And I'm not saying that Brittany Griner's not smart because obviously I think she's very intelligent, but I'm saying like smart is what smart does. You crossing over into Russia, double check what's in your bag or your book bag or whatever your carry-on items are. Double check and make sure if you know you like to vape, make sure you don't take that stuff into Russia. Simple as that. And don't blame LeBron James. LeBron James will be home already. Well, LeBron James never did anything to put himself in jeopardy. You know? Drop writes, well, he agrees with me. The host is 100% correct on Brittany Griner case. She effed up and now she is locked up abroad. Right. That's what happened. End of story. I want her to come home because she's an American citizen. She's a sister. I want her to come home. She got a family. Her wife, I don't know if they have children or not, but her wife misses her. I want her to come home, but what I want don't matter. Watch what you do. Sneakerhead says he's going to send me an email. Okay. My email address is nathansflow@gmail.com. It's my personal email address. Send it on, send it on, send it on, send it on. Listen, folks, I got to make a move. Have an excellent rest of your day. All right. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. All right. Don't forget, check out the Sunday morning live stream this Sunday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Charlie Winburn will be talking about why there are so many angry, mean, and irritable people. Learn to let go of anger, meanness, and irritability and find rest, happiness, and kindness. Holding a mean mug takes a lot of energy. Takes a lot of energy. All right. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I wish you all the best. Have a pleasant weekend, and we'll talk real soon. Don't be surprised if I just kind of go live. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I may go live with a quick video here or there. Have an excellent rest of your day, my friends, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah, talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a